Hello, folks, and welcome to this MD 2020 review. I have the legendary Juan Alterio Louisiana Beer Reviews here, and we're going to be taking a look today at the MD 2020. I have the Red Grape one. Red Grape, I think you have the same one.
That's what I've got.
Yeah, I saw you. You said you had that one on the Wildcard Wednesday on your channel, so I've never had this one. I've had a couple of the other flavored ones.
I figured I'd go with the original, Well, sort of the original.
Oh, yeah?
Because when it first hit the market, it was 20% alcohol in a 20-ounce bottle. But they went to, it's 13% now in a 12.7-ounce bottle. Or you can get the 24.5 ounce, 25.4 ounce. And I believe this one might be sold in the big jug bottle, the big 1,500 milliliter bottle.
Here's Drewski in the chat. Yeah, so a little history on this thing. The MD stands for Mogen David. That's actually the Shield of David. Is that correct?
Right. That star. It's on the Israeli flag.
So this particular concoction or wine has a very Jewish history,
Yes, it was established by Jewish people.
And I guess it's certified kosher.
Not the 2020s.
No. Okay.
Just the standard.
The Mogen David company itself, which is owned by what is the wine company? It's called
the Wine Group. Yeah.
Wine Group.
Now here's a description on the website: the King of Grape. Yeah, the King of Grape with rich flavors of dark fruit. That's kind of funny, because I mean $1.99 and it's the King, right? Okay.
Well, I got it for $2.99.
For the
I bought it.
What size bottle?
375 milliliter.
Yeah, I got $1.99 for the same size.
You got it for $1 cheaper.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the King of Grape for that price. Maybe the Janitor of Grape, but.
Now these are Concord grapes, correct? Made with Concord grapes.
Some kind of, maybe those are New England grapes, or some kind of New York grapes.
It's made in, what is it, Westfield, New York?
New York, yeah. And interestingly, the Wine Group was owned by Coca-Cola for about 12 years.
Huh.
But Coca-Cola decided, well, let's get out of the wine business. It's not for us. And so they turned it over to some investors, kind of a spinoff, and they became the Wine Group, who's still around.
Yeah, so at one time, Mogen David, was it a company in itself?
Started as an independent company in, I think, 1933?
I did a little research. I heard that it was right after Prohibition ended.
Yeah, pretty sure 33. And they specialized in kosher wines. They used to have commercials on television like Mogen David, it's the wine like your grandmother used to make.
Now, when did they have the commercials on television? Because you never see those anymore.
I think about like in the 1950s.
Okay. What kind of audience were they targeting back then?
I would assume immigrants.
You don't think they were going for the Jewish audience at all?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Immigrants from Eastern Europe, people that had survived World War II, maybe had come to the United States before World War II, and a lot of these immigrants from Russia and Poland, and well, of course, Poland wasn't its own country until 1918. But you know what I'm saying, like Russia,
or the Polish territory.
Yeah, those other territories. They came to the United States and they just made their own wine, and they said usually they didn't have a lot of time to let it age, so they just would dump a lot of sugar in it, and they just got used to drinking this young, poorly aged, sugary sweet wine, which a lot of people would say, oh, you know, ugh. But it's just.
You hear the wind?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're getting a little storm in a second.
Yeah, so it just became like a thing, like they grew up with it. People would roll their eyes at it and say, yuck. But, you know, it just became competing Manischewitz, also from New York. And I think Manischewitz, I think I was started in Chicago, was there, but I think they migrated to New York also. But Manischewitz was and is still a big one. Competing company.
Manischewitz,
But
no,
the
that
same
sounds very
principle,
familiar.
Yeah, Manischewitz, you can get that. Yeah, it's real popular where I live. People you got your Manischewitz faction, and you got your Morgan David. Most people say Morgan Davis because people are illiterate. You know.
Illiterate? Maybe they just don't know.
Morgan. Well, I mean, you can read it. It's not Morgan Davis.
Well, where do you even read it? Because it's not on the bottle itself.
No,
right?
I mean just the regular standard ones. It clearly says Morgan David or Morgan David, and so I don't know where this Morgan Davis comes from. I don't know why they came out with MD 2020 variants in 1968, 52 years ago, but I suspect that they figured there was a market for people that needed medicine-shaped bottles.
Stick it in their pocket.
Yeah, that's my theory. That you put it in your coat pocket, either to lay on a park bench or to bring to work, and you know it's not going to bulge.
Or anywhere.
Yeah, no one's going to. Or in a football game, they didn't have metal detectors back then. You know, they're not.
Sure. Why spend $10 for a beer when you can bring that?
Right, and you can't bring a big round bottle that's going to be bulging out your jacket. The people at the ushers are going to notice that. But a flat bottle like this, bring it to the baseball or football game. You know,
it's very
sipping on it the whole game, and it used to be 20% in the 20 ounce, like I said, but now it's just a convenience store product. That's mainly what you see. I'm gonna go put the rest up. I'm not about to drink them.
My bottle says here it's bottled by the 2020 Wine Company in Westfield, New York.
Right.
So which is 2020 Wine Company. That's an actual company.
Yeah, it's just an alias for the wine group.
So it's not I guess it's a DBA, a doing business as.
Yeah, these companies, they're allowed by the U.S. government to have what they call assumed names. And as long as it's registered, they say, oh, go ahead, you know. I'll be right back.
I took a couple of sips of this one, and I actually, well, first of all, the smell, I think it smells a lot more like wine than the other flavors. That I think I tried 2 of the other ones. And the sips, it tastes like wine as well. You know?
I tried them all so far that I was able to get a hold of. I think I've tried all of the current lineup. Okay, so I know you want to examine this one, so cheers.
Cheers. I think we're about to have a hurricane.
Yeah.
Are you picking up a lot of the wind? Is it distracting?
It comes in waves.
Yeah. It was fine before I started.
To me, this smells and tastes like just regular old red wine, you know.
That's what I would say too. I was expecting something a lot different, but I guess this is the standard version.
I think if you drank this and then compared it to regular Morgan David, you might have a hard time trying to figure out if they were different. You know,
now, have you tried the regular Morgan David wine?
Sure. I've tried the kosher for Passover, which are different. Because kosher is just using corn syrup, and kosher for Passover is using cane sugar. There's some kind of rabbinical law, you know.
Yeah.
For Passover, it has to be pure cane sugar. Can't be corn syrup.
Maybe
And,
it goes back to the ancient times. That's how they used to do it or something.
yeah, some kind of Talmudic,
Talmud.
the Talmudic interpretation of the Mosaic law.
Mm-hmm.
And, so they have the pomegranate flavored. There's the some people talk about elderberry, but I've never seen elderberry on the shelves here. There's a blackberry flavored blackberry.
I would even say this doesn't taste very much different than the wine you sip in church. You know, for communion.
Oh, you mean yeah, sacramental wine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar. I guess they add sugar to it, or maybe this corn syrup to make it sweeter, but it's not, to me, overly sugary.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. It doesn't taste bad at all. It tastes like a you know, a wine, nothing special. But it's not. I wouldn't say it's a bum wine. I think it's a little bit of a harsh criticism of it.
Right, it doesn't have any strange aromas or flavors, right? No off flavors.
No.
No weird aromas. It just tastes like, literally, if you went to the grocery store and you bought one of those little trays of red grapes,
Mm-hmm.
and you were just like eating them.
Now, what I remembered from trying the other variants of this MD line is that at first, the first couple of sips, I didn't like it. You know, as you keep on drinking, you seem to get more of a palate for it, maybe. With this one, I'd say, you know, you don't even have that experience.
It just comes across as standard wine.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you could reduce the video to where my face is not so blown up.
How do I do that?
It doesn't matter. I don't care.
Well, let's see. I don't mind doing it.
I'm not that close to the camera, but it's just the aspect ratio that they're using. There's a little setting down below where it makes it like
Here you go.
Yeah, it gives it a little.
So this is actually my first. Well, I've done a couple of live ones, but just as messing around, and I deleted them. But this is actually, you know, if you want to consider it a review. So I'm going to leave this one up.
Yeah, and if you do more, I'll try to join as time permits.
Sure. Maybe I'll put some more content on the channel, do some beer reviews with you guys. Maybe do a couple of other things. I don't know. But
you know, it would be a very interesting concept. Just a thought to do a side by side, taking this and comparing it to the regular Mogen David, because I think they're like the same ABV, like 13%, which is normal wine. That's just a normal wine ABV, and just to see if there's really any difference in a blind taste test. It could be something to look at.
Yeah. Cheers to Eclectic Beard, Alan, in the chat.
Hey, Alan.
Now, what is the regular Mogen David run for? Because this one is kind of on the cheap end.
Well, like I said, I got this for $1.99, which I was very pleased about.
Sure, yeah.
Regular, usually they're sold in 750s, the regular size bottle, not this half size. So, it depends on the store. Some stores are a little kind of silly with their prices. At Walmart, you could probably get it for say $4.99.
Okay. So a little bit more, but not a big.
I'm talking about the full size bottle, yeah. So you pay $2.99. So if you
I paid $2.99, and
nearly $6, that's $5.98. So
yeah. The Eclectic Beard says that $1.99 is a great deal, even for the MD 2020.
Eclectic Beard, let me tell you, eclectic. I'm sorry,
Eclectic.
Not electric, eclectic. There's a store on United States Highway 61 southbound, heading toward New Orleans here in this town, and it's called store's called oh, what's the name of that place? It used to be called Time Saver years ago before they went out of business. It's called something Stop. Whatever. But yeah, it's just a convenience stuff. Doesn't matter. He always told me, "You let everybody know my store." I say, "Okay."
Oh, I think I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, and he's got them all priced at $199 for the half size, and all the other stores around here is $249, 50 cents more. So naturally I'll go there to his store, and then if you double up and get the full size, then it's $399. I'm sorry. $299.
$2.99.
No,
yeah, at the gas station I get these at, it's $2.99.
$3.99. So you pay in basically $2 or $4.
$3.99 for what size?
The full size.
So this is like a half size?
Yeah, because a full size wine bottle, any grocery store or liquor store is going to sell a full size wine bottle at $7.50.
Okay. Actually, the gas station I go to, they don't even have the big size, $7.50. They just have on the top row, one of the doors, they have all MD 2020s. I think it's about 6 different ones.
Yeah. Well, here, that's the one store, and they sell gasoline there too. But he's got these at, a penny less than $2 or a penny less than $4, depending on the size you want. Now, there's some stores deeper into New Orleans that will sell the full jug bottle, the 1.5 liters. But I don't think around here. Would like to try the elderberry.
Now, I know this is like a urban legend kind of a wine thing, where everybody has these horror stories of drinking whole bottles and puking and stuff like that. I interestingly enough, I've never heard of this MD 2020 until you started. I think the first time you did a review with John and Neely, and it's funny because it's made in New York, but me, when I was growing up, nobody drank this stuff. I never even heard of it. But I never even remembered seeing it in the stores there.
That's strange because it's very popular. It's very popular in Scotland, of all places.
We got Moderator moderating the comments. That's nice. Thank you.
That's good. Now the Electric Beard says, "I've gotten sick off MD 2020 more times than I can count." Well,
yeah.
The thing,
a lot of people say that.
But what are they doing? Are they drinking little sample glasses like this?
Oh, well, maybe Eclectic Beard can elaborate on that.
Right, because I'm thinking that they weren't drinking 4 ounces.
Sure, I bet not. But I mean, to tell you the truth, per the U.S. government, a standard drink of wine is 5 ounces, right?
Right.
How many ounces are there in a 375 milliliter bottle? I did the math. I looked it up.
12.7.
It's 12 point. Yeah, so it's a little more than 2 standard drinks. That's not really that much.
No, and I don't think that would make a person sick. So I'm getting the feeling that they're not just drinking these half-size bottles. They're going full bore crazy. And they're drinking,
Well, let's see what he's saying here. Whole bottle. So maybe he's talking about the big bottle. He's not drinking little small stuff. It was cheap to get, someone to buy when you were young. Not yeah. John O'Neilly, cheers to John O'Neilly. He says, "Cheers, guys."
Hey, John.
Dang, I wish I would have known when this was going down. Well, you heard on Wildcard Wednesday, John.
Yeah, we talked about it on the.
Now, Ron, how do I put these comments up on the screen?
If you click on the comment, it'll show it.
There we go.
Well, John, you're not far from a liquor store. Go get your MD 2020 and join up, dude. We still have 30 minutes.
We have lots of time. It was funny on Wild Card Wednesday. John was like in the dark with I think he had a candle.
Yeah, that was wild. Yeah, here I'm gonna look. I'm gonna tell you some of the other brands that the wine group carries. I'm looking at the website right now. They have one called Z, the 7 Deadly Wines.
7
There's 10 span. Yeah, 10 span, 13 Celsius, Almaden. Everybody's heard of Almaden, I'm sure. Big House.
I haven't.
Never heard of Almaden. Beso del Sol, Sangria, Benziger, Ava Grace, Chloe. I see Chloe a lot. Con Cannon, Cupcake Vineyards, Cupcake Lighthearted, Foxhorn. Well, those are the Australian Foxhorn around. Flip Flop, Fisheye. I see Fisheye every day. Dorsey, Franzia. I see Franzia everywhere. Glen Ellen. Yeah, I see that everywhere. Imagery, Insurrection, Slow Press, MD 2020.
I have the original as well, John. Same as Ron.
Love Noir, Stave and Steel, Trapiche of Argentina, Tribute, and there's more. I mean, this company's huge, and they make.
Yeah, I guess so. That's a lot.
Yeah, and I heard about it, but I didn't know when it was happening. I know Ron has the original wine, which and some of the wines they have are $1.99 a bottle, and some of the wines they have are $89 a bottle. It just depends. They're hitting all the price points, which is smart.
Mogen David is really, they're not a budget company. They have some premium stuff.
Well, the wine group, of course.
Okay, so the wine group, not underneath the Mogen David name. Now, the Mogen David, their name, they do different things besides the 2020. Is that right?
I think they're just under the group umbrella.
Well, is there anything out there underneath Mogen David that's not 2020?
Yes.
I thought there was.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Mogen David, or as most people say.
You want to do a screen share?
Sure. As most people say, Mogen David.
Can you do a screen share on your end, or do I have to initiate it?
I'm not in control of it, so I think you have to initiate it. I don't know if it'll work.
Oh, here, it's share screen. Okay. I don't know if it'll just be me sharing mine. I'm not gonna mess with it right now.
It might not show my. It might not show my.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, Mogen David since 1933. It says Concord, Blackberry, Pomegranate. So it's the same company though. Westfield, New York. I mean, it's pretty obvious,
Now, where is Westfield? I assume it's upstate New York.
Yeah, up by the Finger Lakes.
Okay.
I called them one time and asked could I go on a tour there, their winery, and they said they didn't get tours. I said, okay.
I wonder why.
It says a production-only facility. Even if they gave tours, how many people would go on the tour? It'd be like...
Well, that's true. Yeah, it was really interesting.
I went to Houston, Texas one time for a Budweiser tour, and they had me on the tour. Me, alone.
At Budweiser?
Yeah, and they had no one going on tours there. And they had this beautiful welcome center, this beautiful gift shop.
Wow.
And there was just no one there. And I thought to myself, I don't know how this is going to go down. And about 2 years later, they shut down their tours because, what was the point of having tours if nobody was going to go?
That's surprising for Budweiser. But I think more people would be interested in it.
When people go to Houston, they're not thinking Budweiser tours. When they go to St. Louis, they're thinking that. And it's close to downtown in St. Louis.
Yeah.
In Houston, it's on the outskirts in an industrial district with a bunch of warehouses. Well, I thought the tour was fascinating. In fact, it was the best beer tour I ever went on in my life.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it cost $30, but it was a 2-hour tour. They took me to the laboratory. They took me to the bottling plant, the the every part of it. They didn't cut corners, and then they said, "Well, you want to drink some beer?" I said, "Well, yeah." They said, "You get what they say? Well, you get 3 beers." I said, "Okay, 3 full size, not little samples." So they let me drink anything I wanted to pick, this, that, whatever. All right. So then they said they were so bored, there's nothing to do. Like they said, "You want to drink some more? Ain't nothing going on." I said, "Well, okay." So then they were like, "Try this 4th beer and this 5th beer and this 6th beer."
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh man." I was like, "Is there a place to eat around here?"
Now, what beers were they giving you at Budweiser? I guess
Any kind of Bud, or
you have the Budweiser, the Bud Light.
yeah, any kind of specialty beer they had, like some of those craft style beers they make,
Yeah. What year was it that you went there?
I went 5 years ago. And so then, I'm looking on the Mogendava website. When you check their privacy policy, it says the wine group. So
Yeah, that's who owns them.
Yeah,
The wine.
certified kosher.
And this is actually, I put it in the description. It's considered a fortified wine, right?
Maybe at 13%, maybe fortified. I think usually those will be around 17, 18, 19%.
Oh, according to Wikipedia, it's a fortified.
Yeah, well, it might just be regular wine. Sometimes when they try to jack them up to 18%, they'll fortify them with brandy. But
yeah, I wanted to ask you, what does fortified mean?
Yeah, they spike it with brandy, which is like 40% alcohol. I'm not tasting any brandy. I'm not tasting any.
Okay, so it says on the Wikipedia, Mogen Wine Company is a company based in Westfield, makes wines, including the fortified wine MD 2020. So it says it right there that it is the MD 2020. Now, like you say, Wikipedia might not be the most accurate, so they always have their sources, though. So you can click on the source.
Yeah, who says it's fortified?
That's what Wikipedia said. But then they have here, so if I go into the website, I have to say I'm 21. And then it says, "Oops, that page can't be found." So, yeah. Not much of a reference, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to take you to the legal and privacy section of the Mogen David. But then you can't really get there.
I'm looking at their website right now, and they're showing the vineyard. They're showing the vineyard right next to the highway, and it's a huge rolling hill area full of grapes growing on a vine with like a farmhouse in the background. Then the next,
we have our good friend Craft Beer Pours in the chat. Cheers to Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, I watched your long pumpkin beer thing, and that was really interesting.
I actually didn't watch it. I saw what was going on, but I plan to pick up that same 12-pack of Elysian pumpkin beers and then have a couple and see what you guys say about it.
It's a lot better to watch.
I saw you have a few reviews too out.
Yeah, and I've got solos coming up. It's a lot better to watch after you've tasted them, because then you can relate.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Then you can relate to it. Now, if you look at the Mogen David website, they're showing the grapes basking in the sun. Beautiful looking grapes. And then they're showing them getting ready to pick them. Then they show a guy on a tractor picking them. Then they showing a lady in a laboratory looking at the sugar analysis. Then they're showing the sunrise. Here's the photo caption. Sunrise in New York signifying another day of wine making. And you said terms of service I should click?
No, it was called legal and privacy.
They don't. Oh, privacy policy.
Oh, maybe that's why it doesn't come up. Yeah, because the link here, it says legal and privacy, and then it comes up and says, oops, nothing's there.
This is all just stuff
Oh,
about.
all right, no, I got it. I found it. Now it came up. Legal and privacy. So can you find that?
Yeah, hold on a minute. Third-party resources, jurisdictional issues.
Yeah, I don't see it saying anything about the fortification of the wine.
Let's go over here. The wine group wants you to be familiar with how we collect, use, and disclose information. This is just all how they're going to use your information if you click on to the website.
Yeah, I know, I see that. Well, I'm just going off of what was on the Wikipedia article, and that was their reference.
It says, let's see, home. Let's go back to the home. Mogen David.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing here on my phone.
Yeah, perfect for gatherings and to be shared. There's a guy on the tractor. Perfect for gathering to be shared amongst family and friends. It's available.
Yeah. Mogen David is America's classic wine since 1933. You know what? This is not a bad wine. It's not. At least this flavor. I've had a couple of the other ones that were a little bit out there. I'm not going to say that they were bad, but I think I actually probably prefer this one.
Yeah, this is the best. This is the best of all of them because it's not tainted with all those flavors. It just tastes like regular wine, like sweet grape, red grapes. It's like literally eating red grapes out of a tray.
I mean, honestly, if you have some wine drinking with some friends or something, and you don't bring the MD bottle, and you just pour it into a glass, it looks like a wine. It certainly smells like a wine. But what are they really going to say? Are they going to say, "Oh, well, that's not really a wine," unless you tell them that it's the MD product, and maybe they'll say that.
They'll probably just drink it and wouldn't even comment.
They wouldn't even know. And you're paying $1.99 for it.
It really does taste like the wine at church.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Imagine if they use that.
My father said he saw him using at his church. They were using Carlo Rossi red. I've tried all the flavors electric beer. I tried eclectic. I know the word, but I keep saying it wrong because he's showing it like electricity, so it's making me think of electricity. like a neon light,
Yeah.
When I see the neon light, I'm thinking the electric.
I think he does it on purpose to try to confuse you.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like electric boogaloo.
So Alan, you've never had the original red grape wine from the 2020 line?
Well, he said the banana red, the grape, and the orange.
Oh yeah, he says the grape right there. Okay. Well, which one would you say was your? I know you're not a fan of it, so which one would you say was your more desirable, or when you hated the least?
One thing I'll say about this one, it has no colors added, and it has no flavoring added. Just literally, like you're saying, it just tastes like regular old.
Yeah, I can't see how somebody's gonna throw up and all this stuff for this, at least for this flavor. RJ Scum. What's up, RJ?
I don't think they make the jalapeno anymore. That was like a one-time. Now here, if you look on the website, they got Passover recipes, Rosh Hashanah recipes, and Hanukkah. Which one do you want to hear?
Let's hear the Hanukkah one. I got this flavor, RJ. And Ron has the same.
Hanukkah. There's something called lemon garlic Brussels sprouts. There's also one recipe called beef brisket.
Oh, let's hear that one.
There's one called potato latkes, and these are things you're supposed to produce. You're supposed to cook these and drink Mogen David with the meal.
Yeah, the what is it called? The Seder.
That's for Passover, yeah. But these are all foods that are considered kosher. Well, they look good to me. I would consider them delicious, you know. I bought some of that Manischewitz matzo in a box. And all it was really like a big sheet of square rectangular bread.
Yeah, well, it's unleavened bread, right?
Yeah. So I bought this Manischewitz matzo, and I just put butter on it. I was eating it every day. It was really good.
My mom used to buy that when I was a kid. I don't know why she bought it. Maybe because it was cheap or something. But you put butter on it, and then later on in life, I learned that it was like a Jewish thing that they eat that during Passover time. But I used to eat it when I was a kid, and I'm Catholic.
Yeah, it's really good.
I don't think it was really good. I mean, it's pretty plain. That's why you got to put the butter on it.
It's kind of plain. Yeah, but when you put the butter on it, it's good.
It's okay.
I liked it. There's a restaurant here. No, it's a store. Well, there's a restaurant in a store. There's a restaurant called Casablanca. Casablanca serves kosher Moroccan food.
Okay.
Because there was a large Jewish population in Morocco, and so they serve Moroccan kosher food. I've never had it. And they got this big thing on their website: no dairy on premises. Secondly, there is a grocery store called the Kosher Cajun Deli, and it's all kind of so-called Cajun food that's kosher. And there's a big area in Metairie, Louisiana, which is the city that is directly west of New Orleans. Like literally, it's adjacent to New Orleans on the west.
Okay.
And they have a huge Orthodox Jewish population there. And so they
wear the hats.
I guess some of them do, and then they're all like they have two separate refrigerators in their house. They have two separate china cabinets.
Yeah, there's a big Orthodox population in Brooklyn, and actually, even in Long Island, you can see some Orthodox, and they would walk around with they have the like a top hat, and then with the sideburns, whatever that's called.
They
it's like they have a uniform.
Uniform. When I was, if you drive, like if tomorrow's Saturday, this Jewish Sabbath, if I drove to Metairie tomorrow morning around 9 o'clock, there would be a group of Orthodox Jewish young people walking back from their synagogue because they walk, they wouldn't drive.
They can't drive because that's considered labor. They can't do any labor on the Sabbath.
So they walk, and none of the teenage girls are wearing makeup. They wear they wear like dresses with a thing on their, their neck is covered all the way down to their wrist, and then their dress goes down to their ankles.
I've never even seen girls walk around. I only see guys.
No, it's usually a group of teenagers, boys and girls, teenagers, and but the girls never wear makeup because they say makeup is for women of the streets.
Mm-hmm. And and maybe there's something to that. Yeah.
They say they're women of culture, and they're going to have a husband. They don't need to go out onto the streets and earn money. So when they see people with makeup, they say that's that type of person. The boys are wearing very conservative clothes. It's at the Chabad Center. Now, another thing they have
do they have the hats on though?
I don't think they're that Orthodox because those are like a different faction. The ones that wear like you said, the uniform, they're from a different faction.
So the ultra-Orthodox?
Yeah, all the factions claim to be the real faction. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I thought Orthodox itself was a faction.
But there's factions
because
within.
there's a lot of, I guess they're called secular Jews, and
Right.
I knew a good amount of them in my old job up in New York. A lot of one of the partners was Jewish, and then a lot of the clients were Jewish, so learned about these kind of things. And the secular Jews are, they are proud to be Jewish, but
Ethnic.
it's more of an ethnic thing for them, and they actually are looked down upon by the Orthodox, and they don't really like the Orthodox because they think that this is out there.
Yeah, they don't
But
like.
they're very proud to be Jewish. They're proud of their ethnicity and their history.
Yeah, they don't like each other. But if you go out by the Chabad Center, now another thing interesting, talking about these wine. Now, by the way, folks, we're not drinking kosher wine tonight. We're drinking the stuff for the animals.
But Morgan David has kosher.
Yes, but the MD 2020 is the stuff they make for the animals.
For the streets.
The animals of humanity.
I guess are they considered the infidel?
Yeah, let them eat, let them drink the garbage. Now,
As long as they pay for it, $1.99 bottle.
Right. People like you and I, let us drink the garbage. But if you go to Metairie, there is it's an ergon. It's called an ergon, right? Ergon.
Yeah.
And I investigated that and I saw it. It's true. It's no joke. They talked about that in the newspaper. They talked about how they established that area as an ergon, which means like well, see, in their Orthodox culture, they're very legalistic. So you're not allowed to even leave your yard during the Sabbath day.
But okay, so now, do you know that in the Orthodox neighborhood, the rabbi has the permission, the authority if they can put a wire around a certain neighborhood, and if he kind of blesses this wire, it says that you don't have to adhere to all of the So if you want to use an elevator in your building, that might be considered labor to hit the button. But now, because the wire is around your neighborhood, you can hit the button and use the elevator and other various things that you wouldn't consider labor, but because of the Sabbath laws, they're not supposed to do any labor. And
Right.
so, if this wire is around your neighborhood, you're allowed to do these types of things.
Not even opening an umbrella.
Yeah, things like that. So did you know about that? That they can just put a wire around.
Yeah, it's a cotton. It's cotton. It's made out of cotton. It's a thread, but it's like a wire. And the thread is all the way around the neighborhood. It runs along Interstate 10 out to the lake. And if you look on their website, the Chabad Center, they say our boys are out checking the wire, and they got to make sure it's totally contiguous. It's like not broken.
Yeah.
So they check the wire, and then
so they have that in Louisiana too.
Yeah, so they'll report back and say the wire is intact or whatever they call it. And then so they can walk in their yard during the Sabbath day. In other words, the whole entire area, which might be 3 miles wide and 4 miles deep, that's considered their yard. They're walking in their yard. They're not leaving their house, their yard. I mean, it's a very legalistic. It's obviously a legalistic interpretation.
Which that even goes back to the Pharisees in the Bible, the people who were against Jesus. I mean, I don't want to make this a religious thing.
No.
So the Pharisees were always trying to come at Jesus and say, you're not following the law, and always catch him doing the wrong thing. And he basically just said, you guys are really legalistic, and it's good to adhere to God's word, but give me a break. To put it shortly.
Yeah, he was saying that you're
kind of hypocrite.
Right, you make up all these rules, but you make them in a way that they're manufactured to not apply to you, and that it's like you're making these like intricate exceptions that you don't say are exceptions.
Well, they would say that they didn't make them; that came from Deuteronomy, and that's where the law was made. And I don't know how valid that is.
Right. Well, he was saying you're following the letter of the law, but you're not following the spirit of the law.
Yes. Yep.
In other words, so that's very interesting. But yeah, these wines we're talking about is kosher ideologies, but we're not drinking kosher wine. We have to do that. But the next project has to be what? MD 2020 kosher wine versus no, I'm sorry.
That was going to be the Morgan David
kosher
wine.
wine versus MD 2020, right?
Yeah, that would be cool. Like a taste challenge.
In a blind taste test, see if it tastes different one from the other.
I do that. Sure.
Because from what I'm tasting, I'm not really seeing any.
No, I mean I'm not a wine connoisseur, but if you ask me, I would say this tastes like a wine. It really does.
It's like a regular old red wine.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. So all these horror stories about MD 2020, they must be coming from the flavored stuff. You know?
No, I think it's coming from the volume that's consumed.
Well, even the volume. Like, I guess if you drink a lot of this, but if you drink a lot of any red wine, so what's
sure, you could buy an $80. You could buy an $80
Yeah, $80 bottle of wine.
$80 bottle of wine, and if you drink the whole wine that evening, you're going to feel sick. You know, you're going to get sick. I mean, come on, man.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I've never gotten sick on wine.
No, me neither. Never. But then I don't drink a whole bottle, you know, so la-di-da.
Now, what would you grade yours?
Grade it. I got a lot of it left, so I'm going to sip on it the next few days. I'm sure it'll stay fresh, relatively fresh.
Did you drink yours chilled or warm?
Yeah, because the bottle says serve chilled, so I figure if they're recommending it, they must know what they're recommending, you know?
Yeah, I saw that you had 2 reviews of one was chilled and one was warm from a few years back.
I think, wasn't that Wild Irish Rose?
No, there was this one.
Oh, this one, okay. Yeah, I thought back then the unchilled tasted better, room temperature, but
you said that, yeah.
Yeah, but they're saying serve it chill. I say, okay, I'll put it in the fridge. Well, it was already in the cooler anyway, so
mine was chilled.
It has some nice qualities in the nose. Like I'm smelling the leftover, and it's like grape skin, you know, like that musty grapes.
Yeah.
It's almost like you could smell them on the vine still, you know, like you could smell the twigs and the dirt.
Yeah, it's not a bad smell.
The taste is really good. I don't see anything off about the flavor of the aroma. I mean, if I found a huge jug bottle for cheap, I'd buy it. You know, I have wine I drink every day for lunch. I only drink about 3 ounces. So, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this. No added colors, no added flavors. It's just regular old red wine. I don't know why people want to buy all these crazy flavors.
When they make them, and you tried them.
I tried them just to try them, you know, just to see what it
seem to give it such a bad review on even those ones.
No, they weren't bad. They were, I think those kind of wines are for people that don't like wine. And it's kind of like the flavored beers are for people that don't like the taste of beer. So for whatever reason, people drink a regular wine and they're like, oh, it's nasty. But if they drink dragon fruit or pineapple flavor or watermelon, and I think all they're doing is taking dehydrated watermelon, you know, pulp. This probably comes in this huge tank and they dump it in, you know, huge box and they dump it in and it gets hydrated, something like that. And then they're saying, oh yeah, I like that, you know, but I don't see why, if you like regular wine, you would want to try all the different flavors. I mean, I would give it let's see, last little sip.
Well, what do you give it in the wine category?
I mean, I've never had any really great wines.
Because this is considered a wine. It is a wine.
It is legally by the U.S. government's estimation.
In the like how we do it with the beer, you give it a grade overall, and you give it a grade based on the type of beer it is. So let's say, you know, this is a wine. How would you grade it based on you know, what you grade wines?
Yeah, and the style, generalized red wine or the Concord grape wine. Concord grape wine. It's probably about, I guess, 92 out of 100. Like, it might have a little too much sweetness. It doesn't have enough grape skin, tannic quality, but I don't see it. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I could drink it every day. I wouldn't. It's not the kind of thing that would start clawing on you. You know, it's really pleasant. I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'm gonna give it an 84, right in the style. It's nothing spectacular.
No, it's nothing spectacular.
But it's certainly nothing offensive.
See, my problem is I drank all these different wines over the years, and I just don't find too many that are bad. You know, it's just like there's a lot. There's a lot.
And you probably don't focus on drinking wine as much as you focus on the beer or the whiskey reviews. Right.
I do drink wine every day.
But you don't grade it.
I do grade it, and then I drink it, but it takes me like a month to drink it. You see, because the wine, you can't just put it on the shelf and save it. It'll go sour, you know. So I buy a bottle and I do a review, and then it takes me like a month to drink it. And so then I'll buy another bottle, and so maybe in a year I'll do 10 or 12, 10, probably 12 reviews. Whereas
so you're doing one review a month.
Yeah, whiskey is different because whiskey you could keep it for 20 years. It's not going to go bad.
Hold on to it, yeah.
Yeah, it won't go bad. So you're not in any rush. And in beer, you have even less of a time frame to drink it. It's going to go bad in 2 days. You can't open it and save it. It's going to be flat.
Yeah, so if you buy, I don't know if you buy 40s of beer and then you just drink a little bit, but I mean, you can't really hold on to that 40 for too long.
Now, if it's in the plastic bottle, you could tighten it real tight, and it'll still pop after 2 days. You know, it'll still have a hiss, but it won't. But 48 hours.
Be the same,
yeah. 48 hours. That's your limit. Now, this wine here, I could sip on it for a week. It'll be fine. You know, no problem. I got that vintage crush that I bought for Walmart. That huge bottle. I got it for $5. It's holding its own. I mean, it's every time I drink it with lunch, it's kicking it. You know.
So you said 93?
Yeah, I think I'm 92.
92. I give it 84, so pretty close range.
Let's see, 92.
Would you recommend it to anybody?
About 2.
I would.
88 hours.
If you want it cheap, you know, you don't want to spend money and basically have a somewhat average tasting red wine. I would recommend it.
You wanted just a regular old wine to eat some potato chips and watch a boxing match, I don't have a problem with it.
Hey, potato chips in a boxing match. That's a good combination.
If you wanted to play a prank on people and just let them try the wine and then tell them what it is later, you might get a kick out of it because they might be like, MD 2020, what?
Yeah, definitely. I would think so.
Yeah, I would like to use it to scam people, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. It's a good idea. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, it tastes kind of
unless the person is like a real wine enthusiast, they can probably tell the difference. But how many people out there are really like that?
Not too many.
So
it tastes a lot.
That's that.
Yeah, it tastes a lot like Welch's grape jelly. But it tastes better than Welch's grape jelly.
So I would say a most excellent wine, or not most. What do you consider a B? What is that called?
Good.
Good. Most excellent is over 90?
93 to 90, 97, yeah.
What is a 92?
A minus. Excellent.
Excellent. So you're saying excellent, I'm saying good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the company's been making wine for, 87 years. They probably have some expertise in it.
I think they do.
It might be harder to make cheap. Might be harder to make cheap wine than it is to make the expensive because you got to.
So this one's only been around since 1968.
Yeah, the 2020 series. Yeah, 52 years. Yeah.
which is half a century.
But the Mogen David's been around 87 years. Would you recommend this wine for a date night? Well, it depends who you're on a date with.
Yeah, I would. I definitely would. Because you go on a date and you want to be fancy and have some red wine, just don't show her the bottle.
Could
Yeah,
turn out,
I would definitely recommend it for date night.
yeah, it could turn out to be a pretty interesting date.
You save a lot of money.
Save a lot of money.
I mean, honestly, this is just a regular red wine.
Just a sweet red wine. That's all it is. It's not people overplay it like it's Mad Dog. It's Mad Dog. I don't see that. You know.
I would be interested to learn where that Mad Dog moniker came from and how long it's been around.
People drinking 2 bottles and puking. When I was in junior high school in 1981, I remember kids talking about Mad Dog. We drank some Mad Dog last night. I was so sick. And I was like, I don't know what Mad Dog is, you know. But they used to always talk about it. And then one of the kids said, you know, that stands for Mogen David. And I thought to myself, that makes sense.
He knew. He knew.
Even 39 years ago, one of the kids, I mean, all you had to do was look at the back of the bottle and it said Mogen David wine.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't say it on the bottle.
In 81.
It did say it?
When it was under the control of Coca-Cola, it did say that. Sure, it certainly didn't say Coca-Cola. They didn't want their name associated with it, but just because they were a soft drink company, they didn't want. You know, that's a treacherous thing. Soft drinks that kids drink and then wine. They didn't want.
I mean, wine is probably better than a soft drink, health-wise.
It's probably healthier. And that was before 1985 when Coca-Cola stopped using the coca leaves for the stimulant.
1985 they stopped?
Yeah, the coca leaves.
Really?
They went to caffeine. Yeah, that's when they went to caffeine. That's why
I didn't know it took until 1985. I know the history that it started out with the coca leaves, but I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was till 85.
That's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it was such a small amount, but
yeah,
I think that's why they came out with the new Coke, because that would cause a big controversy and people would get their attention on the new Coke controversy.
And the new Coke was a flop. Everybody hated it.
It didn't matter that it was like a false flag activity. It was to get their mind on that and so they wouldn't notice that they had transitioned from the coca leaf stimulant to the caffeine.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna put the light on over here. Are you okay, Steph?
A lot of background.
I have to run. I have something to do.
Okay.
Thank you for joining, Ron, and thanks everybody for watching.
You're welcome. It's been an hour, so thank you. He's still live. I'm taking over. Now I'm going to say all kind of inappropriate things on this show. No, of course. Dr. Frosty Brew, cheers, everyone. Well, Ronnie had to leave, and I have to leave too, because you know what? The Tampa Bay Rays and the Florida Marlins are on TV. Is that an important thing? No, but something to watch. Better than most of the other garbage on TV, even with all the social justice irritation. Anyway, Ronnie has to leave. I would sum it up by saying Mogen David 2020, MD 2020. If you get all the flavored ones, that's getting a little questionable. That's like some flim-flam stuff. Although, honestly, they don't taste bad. They're strange. The regular Mogen David 2020 just smells and tastes like sweet red wine, and that's not a remarkable thing. it's just a normal thing. So I would recommend checking it out. It might take about 3 bottles to kind of get used to it. It's the first bottle I tried, I didn't like it. The second bottle, I was starting to think, I could see this is doable. Now on the third, yeah, I could deal with it. But no, I'll probably never buy it again. Anyway, thanks for watching Ronnie's new exciting channel.